Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming and hear us out. My name is Ilan. I'm father of Guy Gilboa-Dalal. Guy was kidnapped on October 7 from the Nova Music Festival. It was 16 months ago, and he is still held hostage right now as we speak in the tunnels of Hamas in the dark. With no clear air, no proper treatment, no food, as we know, the terrible condition that they are held. Guy is my middle son. He has an older brother called Gal and a younger sister, Gaia. He is very beloved on his family and his friends. They are very connected and love to do things together. They are very tied to each other and have a strong bond. Guy is a musician. He played guitar from very little age. When he grew up, he took his talent to a different level. And he was playing with a band that he established in Israel with his friends. Guy loves animals and he loves computer games like every other teenage. And Guy was finished his education in computer science. And managed to start a new job in a new company. He worked there for 2 months before he was abducted. And okay, sorry, it's a little hard to see what's going on here. He loves sports. He's a great fan of Maccabi Haifa in Israel. It's sports. He likes anime, Japanese anime. And during the time when he grew up, he taught himself to speak and write Japanese. His big dream was to go to Japan for a big trip. And actually, he had tickets with his friends to last April, where it's time of the cherry blooms, the sakura in Japan. And unfortunately, he didn't have the chance to do it because he was abducted before that. We have a place in Israel, in Jerusalem, where there is it's a botanic garden where there are cherry trees, and where they bloom. We did a ceremony over there and try to be as close as we can to his dream, and hopefully that he will be able to do this trip soon enough. In the meantime, people that go visit Japan and know about Guy's story send us picture with the signs that Guy will visit Japan. This is more pictures from Japan. On October 7, Guy arrived to the Nova Music Festival with 3 of his friends. They arrived there at about 1 o'clock in the morning, and Guy always contact with his mother and tell her whatever he is going through and what's going on with him. So this is where he tells her that he arrived to the music festival, and then he tells her that he made some painting on his face, and his older brother Gal arrived to the music festival too in order to be with his younger brother. They send us this selfie that you see here on the right. It was at 6:15 in the morning, just 15 minutes before hell began there. They sent us this selfie. They seems smiling and having the great time of their lives. And 15 minutes later, in 6:29, missiles start to flew over their heads, and terrorists came and start shooting the people and kill people in the party. Guy and his friends went to their cars to come home and end up with this traffic jam. We call it the dead traffic jam, where terrorists came and started shooting and killing people inside their cars. Gal and Guy were not in the same car. Each of them were with their friends, and they just ran away from the cars to different direction, each one to his destiny. You can see the people that running in the fields while the terrorists are shooting them and killing them. Guy and his friends were separated, and we know that the friends that were with him, Ron Tzarfati and Ilan Dalal, where we see them now in the picture, they sent this picture to her mother at about 8:30 in the morning. They said that they were hiding under some bush, and unfortunately, a few days later, we found out that they were murdered together. They were both a new loving couple that just found the love a few days ago. These are Ron and Idan, and on the right you can see the Nova Music Festival as it seems right now, and they were murdered. Guy and his best friend Avyatar, they are together from the kindergarten, and they are actually known each other for their entire lives. They grew up together and they went to this music festival together with their friends. And after their friends were murdered, they were kidnapped to Gaza. This is the film that was released by Hamas, where we can see the actual moment of the kidnapping of Guy. This is Guy led up by some terrorist. He's taking him to this. They were loaded onto a truck and headed into Gaza. You can see that. Guy is in the corner, lying down, and this is Avyatar's friends. They were headed they took them in this truck. To Gaza. All this video were released by the Hamas. I just want to lower down the volume, make it without volume, because next film, this film was published by Hamas on October 7 on noon, about 12 o'clock. This is how we found out that Guy is kidnapped. We can see here Guy and 4 other kids from the Nova Music Festival in some dark room in Gaza. This is Avyatar, his friend. They are in shock, they are frightened, tied up in their hands. This is Guy, my son. Actually, this is the last footage we have from him since then. Gal, which you can see on the right picture, he ran away for about 10 hours, running from place to place, hiding from the terrorists, until he was finally rescued by Israeli security forces. Was taken to Ofakim police station, and from there we took him home. This is the Nova site right now, which became a memorial site where 400 people were murdered there, and 40 people from this festival were kidnapped. After that, we felt a little bit lucky that he was not murdered and he was kidnapped, and we have hope of seeing him again. Last May, Guy had his birthday, it's 23rd birthday, while in captivity. And we never thought that it will take so long, but in a few months it will be his next birthday, and we sure hope that he will be able to celebrate it with us at home. This is the sukkah in our home. As you know, Guy, it was the last day of Sukkot, where the Nova Festival took place. And on the left side, you can see Guy sitting in the sukkah on Friday, just before he went to the music festival. And when he left, he told me, tomorrow we need to take the sukkah apart. Don't do it alone. I will come back from the festival and I will help you to do that. And he didn't come back from this festival, and we didn't take the sukkah apart. It's still standing in our house, waiting for him to come back and keep his promise to take it apart. A few words about the October 7 war. Hamas invaded Israel and took over some settlements and military bases. He killed in that day over 1,500 people, around 300 soldiers. He took us, he caught us unprepared because it was a holiday, and there weren't much soldiers in this area. Over this, until now, we have 2,000 deaths, 1,100 civilians and 900 soldiers died until now. There were 250 kidnaps. Some of them were already released, and some of them are still there waiting to be released. A few days later, we established the Forum of the Hostages and the Missing Persons, which grouped all the hostages' families and supported them to help them make whatever is necessary to get the sons and the families back home. We are traveling around the world, us and the rest of the families. We are talking to everybody we can in order to raise consciousness about the condition of the hostages. To make some pressure about the government to help us release our hostages. So far, we rescued about 160, 170 hostages, and there are still people in there that need to be rescued. This is part of the activities we do in Israel, the rallies, demonstrations, and we are actually doing everything we can, both in Israel and in the world, in order to make the release of the hostages happen. Since then, we know that some of the hostages got released, and we can see here some of the hostages that got released only last Saturday. Above you can see their faces in regular times and how Hamas released them. We can see that they were treated very badly. They came back in very bad condition, and we have every reason to believe that the rest of the hostages are in such a condition too. So this makes up the urgency of getting them out of the hell they are living in. These are also some of the hostages. On the right, you can see Alon Oil, which we know now that from people that came back from the last releases, that he's wounded in the eyes and in the legs, and he's chained in a dark tunnel too. He got no proper treatment. On the middle is Matan Engest. He was kidnapped from the burning tank in Gaza. And on the right is Shlomo Mansour, which was the oldest hostage in Gaza. And unfortunately, his family got the news that he was murdered by Hamas. They fought for him for 15 months. They thought that he was alive, but they now know that he is not. Below you can see the Bibas family, which became a symbol of this horror. Yarden, the father, was released last week, and he didn't know that his wife and children, Kfir and Ariel, are still there. Hamas says that they are not alive, but there is no proof, so he has still hope that maybe they will come back alive. And this is Guy, the last footage of him from the captivity where he's frightened, and we can see him at the door coming back to the house, which we hope that he will be there very soon. Thank you very much for hearing me.